Okay, welcome everybody to the August edition of the New Ulm Human Rights Commission. Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so, all right, we are going to jump right into the agenda. Did everybody get the agenda?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve said agenda?
I move.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor for approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone who doesn't want to approve the agenda, say nay, please. Okay. Motion carried. Agenda's approved. Okay, and also attached in Lisa's email was the July 23rd minutes, so last month's minutes. Did everybody have a chance to go through those, and or do they have any questions about the minutes? No questions? Thank you, Wendy, for taking minutes.
You are welcome.
They were splendid.
I knew they were.
Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and approve those, if I can get a motion to do so.
I move.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. And all in favor of the approval of last month's minutes, say aye, please.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion is carried. Minutes are approved. I'm going to let you catch up a little bit, Wendy. I got to go back to work, so I'm going real fast.
Okay, that's good.
Just kidding.
Thanks. D is the only one that is absent, is that right?
Yes, yes. Everyone
All right.
is here. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to jump a little bit. Last month, we kind of ran out of time, Chad. I think we talked about social media, and so I wanted to make sure that I'm going to move that up a little bit so that you have ample time to talk about social media. And I know that you noticed you had a handout here. So, so for those of you following along, I am going to jump to 10 at this time, just to make sure that, again, we got cut short a little bit last month. So, Chad, 10A, please. You handed us some stuff. Tell us what's happening.
Okay. The page with purpose on the top left corner. That is the purpose that will be written on our Facebook page. Just so the rules and regulations are there for everybody to see. So those are just like standard, I don't know what you would call those laws, but, you know, just say that the city, these are not, what would you want to say?
Standard operating procedure.
Right. And these words, you know, don't necessarily reflect the city of New Ulm. So that's basically what this is.
Okay.
This microphone's really loud today. Okay. On the other page is social media plans. Those are the plans that I'd like to follow. And it starts with the immediate. And basically, immediate would be like start the page. Use the Human Rights Commission, the New Ulm Human Rights Commission logo as a profile pic. And it also says polite and general responses will be done on any comments posted, you know, so that way people know that there is somebody actually behind the page. And then within 30 days, I'd like to do at least 2 human rights related posts per week, whether that be New Ulm or a holiday or whatever, just to kind of engage talks on the page. And then at the 60 days, I'd use like a survey to see what people thought of what we were doing. You know, the page in general, maybe even of the commission, you know, to see what else we could change or do better. And then 90 days, I just continue on with the 30-day plan, 60-day plans. And then the 90-day, or 180-day, sorry, that would be the final. We just go through everything, make sure everything was up and running the way we wanted it to be, and that everything was in accordance with city and everybody else.
So you're the administrator at this point?
I don't want to call myself that because I want to leave it up to everybody on the board to decide, how we're gonna, or who is gonna run the page.
I nominate Chad to be the administrator.
A second.
Third.
Well, thank you. So, yeah, this is just something I have written up. It's kind of a generic, so if there's anything in there that needs to be changed, let me know within the next week or two, so that way I can give it a final revision before offering it, to the city.
I was just going to ask, so that's the next step then, is you'll take this
Correct.
to the city,
Right.
and then what happens?
I believe I would, well, it wouldn't be grommets anymore, would it? The city,
Till the end of the year, I thought. So,
Well, yeah.
until further notice, I
Until
suppose
further
it is
notice.
Phil Bryan, huh? Oh, Lisa? Okay,
okay.
we'll ask her.
Hand in the paperwork, and then, and hopefully, we can get things approved
Okay.
through the appropriate channels.
Okay, good. This is great, Chad. Thanks. One question is, will there be, or do we want even a section for if somebody feels that there is a grievance that they can go on there, or do we want to just keep that, or just maybe put something on there that says if you do have a grievance, email directly, because they
Yes.
probably don't want to put it
Private
on a
message.
public.
But they would be able to
medium.
message through the Facebook page
Yeah, that's,
privately
Private
without
message.
having it posted, correct?
Correct.
I can write that on there, in our policy, that,
Okay.
grievances can be addressed through our, either through a direct message or
Private
through email.
Private message, or, yeah,
Right.
just email, either
Yep.
mine or Lisa's, I suppose. Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions for Chad regarding the plans for the social media page, the purpose, policy, et cetera?
As far as the site content, is that something that it will evolve? Like maybe we'll have upcoming events that
Right,
we're going to
right.
be involved in and
Yep. It can evolve. I mean, if we want to do even profile commissioners or profile a person that's with human rights within the community, we could do that.
Alma.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about just community outreach, letting them know that we're there.
Good.
it's kind of like having a newsletter every month,
Yeah.
except it's online, in a sense.
And once it's up and running, maybe we can come to the meetings with a couple ideas, because if we do want to post a couple per week, which I think is a great idea, because you don't want to become obsolete right away.
Right.
Starting out the door, and we just come with a couple ideas. Hey, I heard a group is doing this or whatever, and then just we'll shoot that idea to you, and you can incorporate it into the site or something like that. That way, we're all contributing. in
And I
a
was
way.
planning on having the secretary be the backup. So let's say I go on vacation or something would happen to myself, the secretary or you, Dan, would have access to it.
I
Okay.
So
nominate
when-
Dan.
It wouldn't necessarily have to be me doing it all the time, The other two, the president and the secretary, would also have access as well.
Okay.
So that way it's,
Right.
it's fairly monitored,
And we post links to our meetings,
I was planning on
links.
YouTube
That's a good
videos,
idea.
yes.
Yep.
Well,
Or links to the Minnesota Department of
Yeah,
Human Rights
into any other human rights.
organizations.
Yeah.
and I would request that if we are also going to be given that responsibility, that maybe you could give us a tutorial. I don't want
be
to come
fine.
across as being technology illiterate, but it
And
is
I-
what it is.
I believe there's actual courses out there for social media management that I think they're 45 minutes in length. They happen every 3 months or so.
And can you just do it online, like remotely, or do you go
It's-
somewhere?
It's an actual class, like I believe it's at the community center,
Oh, okay.
so.
You may not hit the age requirement for the classes, Wendy.
What?
You might be a little young.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I think you say I was old.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I'm probably the only one that qualifies.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Chad?
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. This is great. Okay, I am going to stay with 10 since we're there already, and go to the city code and charter. I know we probably, do we have,
I don't think there's anything new on that, and I don't, at the next point, as soon as the code and charter gets done, we'll need to take a look at the code and update our bylaws, probably. And we should probably include that as an annual event, that we review the bylaws, like maybe in
Yeah.
our, whichever month we want to do that in.
okay? And so we want to wait for the actual charter to be finalized then at this point, right? Before we kind of dive in? Is that
Right.
the?
Or we, I think we're in the charter now, if I'm not correct. That's the plan.
Okay, we are.
That's
yeah.
what I was told, yeah.
Yep,
So,
okay,
and it's just the city code now that we're concerned about, and it's particularly with the numbers of the members of the commission that we need to have the city code edited,
Okay.
amended. Yes.
okay. So are we able to do anything on that now? Or is there something that we need to wait for?
We should probably schedule time in our next, one of our upcoming meetings to
Okay,
make a formal recommendation to send to the city council,
okay,
or whoever is responsible for amending the, I'm guessing they have to read it at one meeting and act on it at another, correct? Yeah.
so that's amending the, what again, Larry? Sorry.
City code. I think the membership was a little off, and it did not include student members either, student commissioners.
Okay. Okay, any questions on that? Do we want to have a proposal made? Does somebody want to do a proposal by the next meeting, or do you want to do a subcommittee
I
meeting?
thought that
How-
was like an education subcommittee.
Sure, we could do that.
Okay. Okay, so if the education subcommittee wants to get together briefly and just agree on some wording, and then we'll put it forward.
And who is that? Wendy,
Tim?
Tim, me, and Sue. Okay.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, then I'm gonna jump back up then. To number 4 on your agenda, if you're following along, the budget report. Okay, I do have the budget report. I apologize, I have not really looked at it.
Where did you find that? Over on the menu.
Okay, so we have about $1,586.53 is what we have spent so far.
Thank you. Yep.
$5,238 is what we have remaining. Just some of the things included in that were the yard signs, registration fees for the Bavarian Blast, the parade, and the booth. There was a banner. There was a reimbursement to Jackie for some bookmarks and other materials that we gave away. And what is not on there yet is the second order of signs, I believe. So, which I got $1 off per sign because it was our second order, and so kind of put us over a number threshold, and so so that'll probably be, I think, 900, if I'm not mistaken. So that'll be reflected on the next one, I'm sure, as soon as that check is cut.
Next year, when we're going to do signs again, and next time when we run out of bookmarks or any of our just promo materials, I saw something, the March for Our Lives kids, their logo is an American flag, but where the stars should be is a QR code that you can use your phone and scan the QR code, and it takes you to the website of where to register to vote. I would like for us to add that to our materials. whether it be on the sign down in the corner, any on our bookmarks on the front. We already have a QR code on our bookmarks. It just directs everybody to the website here.
Okay.
But I would really like to see it where people can just register to vote from that. I think it's a great idea that they
Yeah,
did.
that is. All right, good idea. Thank you, Jackie. Does anybody have a question on the budget report? So, according to this, 1586.53 is what we spent, 5238.47 is what we currently have, with the caveat that there is going to be a check for 900 being cut very shortly. Any discussion on the monies?
Do we see any large things coming out in the future?
I
Alma.
think that in October, our event, I think will, whether it's the, rental for the room, the award, there might be, I'll go into the speaker a little bit. I don't know if there's going to be a fee for the speaker. But, so that's definitely some. And then, of course, we have our contest, thank you. Our contest winners, we do have allocated for first and second. And so, yeah, so those are the things that I know for sure that'll be expensed.
So it's looking pretty good.
It's looking okay right now, yeah, even with the two big orders of the signs, so. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on then to current human rights issues. New Ulm Forward is on there. Wendy, did you want to update? Is there anything?
Yes, actually. There's a meeting right after this meeting at 6:15 today, if anyone wants to attend, and it's going to be down at the New Ulm High School. And what this meeting is going to entail is kind of where are we going to do now? We've participated in 2 events in town and kind of gathered some data and information. We gave out surveys to find out what people are feeling, how do they view the town now and regarding diversity, where would they like to see it in 10 years regarding diversity, and how are we going to get there? What are some ideas of things we can do? So we generated that from citizens in New Ulm, and we have a whole list of just things that people have come up with, and overwhelmingly the response was, and I made this beautiful chart, but it's people view on a scale of 1 to 10 diversity right now way down at the lower end of the scale, and essentially where they'd like it to be in 10 years was overwhelmingly towards the other end of the scale. So it's the people that filled out our surveys we didn't get any negatives as far as people want to move in that direction. So now our next meeting is going to be how do we move in that direction and what can we do? And like I said, I have a whole page of New Ulm citizen-generated ideas, and we're going to go from there. And I will say that the group that's gotten together so far really is very interested in partnering with us, because we do have a lot of the same ideas of things that we're going to be promoting. So how can we work together is going to be another conversation that we have. But 6:15 at the middle school tonight.
That's tonight?
That's tonight.
Okay. Okay.
Is there any way that we can find out when that next meeting is?
Before an hour in advance.
An hour, but yeah, with an hour notice?
Yeah, if you're interested in that, if you give me your emails, I can get you on the email list for that
Please.
group, and then they'll let me know, before I leave
Because I
today.
think they have always been directly after this meeting, or many of them have.
Right, and the only reason it's
Several.
after this meeting is because we can't do it during, so,
Sure.
to accommodate me. But, yeah, if you're interested, let me know, and I can put anyone on the commission on that list.
Please
and
do.
That'd be great.
Okay, any other questions? All right, so a couple other current human rights issues that I had noted, but I didn't get a chance to get on the agenda. Couple of concerning things in local towns. I know Jackie and we communicated a little bit about this. There was, I think, signs in, is it North Mankato or Mankato? Racist signs, like Mankato
North
is
Mankato.
white.
There was that couple in St. Peter that got another very threatening letter, and threatening to shoot at have a shooting or whatever at the Pride Festival in Mankato. It was very.
They also physically, or threatened to assault their daughter
Mhm.
in the letter.
And yeah, this is the second one to that specific family, correct?
And they've started a GoFundMe account, I think, to
Yep.
promote finding or exploring who is sending these letters.
Yeah, I think to go towards the award for any information leading to the arrest or prosecution of the individual or individuals involved in that. And is that the same same-sex couple that was receiving the threats last time, or is it a
Yes.
different? It's the same one. So I've not heard of anything like that here in New Ulm, thankfully, as of yet. I don't know if anybody else has. I know that St. Peter does have its own Human Rights Commission, so I'm, hoping that, that they're involved. I did call the Minnesota Department of Human Rights just to see if anything was kind of being done. Of course, they can't really tell me anything, but I would like to think, because just looking at their site, they're very involved. So I'm thinking that they're doing something about it. But it's close, it's in our backyard, so it's something that we should be cognizant of.
To tie into that, in speaking with people at mostly the night out, and with that other group, with the New Ulm Forward, a lot of people expressed just personal stories about New Ulm here and maybe how they haven't always felt welcome. Or there was one in particular who wrote in the survey about her daughter is targeted by other kids because of how she looks. So there's people, and we didn't solicit those stories. People will come to us and tell us that. So it's kind of bubbling, under. I don't think that should be. We don't do anything here. That I think us being extra proactive right now would be really important.
Agree. We also had that ice raid
Yeah,
just outside of town.
that's right.
Yep. Any other discussion on that piece? Okay, so another thing that I had is, so the voting poll locations, some of us, or many of us are aware, was reduced from, I believe, 6 to 4 in the city. 8 to 4, my apologies. So 8 to 4, so so the polling places were reduced from 8 to 4. I don't know, I don't have any information that has caused or prevented anyone from being able to vote. I don't know if it's something that we should ask or put out there, if someone if that's.
I think the League of Women Voters was very,
That's right.
very active with this.
Yeah. Okay, you're right.
I received one complaint. The person called and was furious that they didn't get a chance to vote. And I said, well, when were you at the polling place? Well, 10 minutes after 8. I just said, when did polls close?
Yeah.
One of them. I guess some people think they should be open 24/7, but I think every poll, about it said, closes at 8. so.
Right, yep. No, and I haven't heard any issues. I just thought, something that of course, obviously we don't want that, and so but you're right, League of Women Voters, I think, is kind of put that to the forefront.
Do you know, are they doing anything with helping people get to the polls?
I was just thinking that
I know that's a big one
transport does
for-
anything, like free rides on election day, or something to get, for everybody to be able to get there.
You rent a bus, drive around a short bus that says, we'll take you to the voting booth. Or,
Right.
I mean, what can anyone do to help the turnout?
Does
become
the
higher?
city own the transport bus?
No.
Who does that go through?
Rutland
Yeah.
is county,
Okay.
and nobody would be voting here out of the county anyway.
Right.
But there are now, I think it's 2 taxi cabs, two taxi cab services.
And an Uber, I think, now too, did I see?
Uber is in town.
Yeah, I also heard that, well, it doesn't matter. Uber wasn't gonna allow them, and so now it's just Cato Cab, but that's probably wrong. But, yeah, so we do have a couple of more options, but it might not be a bad idea, volunteering, giving people rides to go vote on election day.
We just need to make sure that it is not at all seen to be
Right.
leaning one way or another.
Right.
I
Yep.
do think that some of the apartment buildings do organize times for the Heartland or for their local buses. The Ridgeways have their own buses. I know that Sunset, I believe they did some things with the trail, or whatever,
There was also early voting. There were citizens of New Ulm that
Yeah.
took ballots to the residents.
Oh, that's
so they had
Early
opportunities.
voting.
Residents that couldn't leave.
Either couldn't or.
Weren't going to be around that day, or
Whatever.
didn't want to go out.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, I know there's a lot of really good options,
That's good.
so.
Is it a unique thing to New Ulm that polling places are in churches? I'm just curious, because I know in Mankato, at least it's all at the schools, and I'm just wondering if that would be something that would deter some people if you're not a church-going person, to not have it in a neutral place.
Harmon Park is in the shelter house,
Okay.
so there's one. at
Ours has
least-
just always been at a church by our house, and so I was
Mine as well.
curious.
Yeah, but at the schools, there was, and I'm probably wrong, but it was something about having the doors open.
During
Now the
primary would be
schools-
all
Now
right,
the
but
schools are basically
They're
locked
locked down.
down.
Mhm.
Oh, I see.
But all
So
of a sudden,
access.
you couldn't lock down at, and then it did disrupt the flow of the students. Students who were used to
Spokes,
coming
yeah.
from
Okay.
one way and
Makes
going
sense.
down this hallway,
Yeah, that makes
couldn't because there were voters there.
Safety
so
issue.
there
Yeah,
was
we
some
did it anyway at
problems
ours, but I guess I can see
At
that.
least in the
Okay.
elementary school.
Sure.
Makes sense.
That's curious.
makes a lot of sense. I know that we went to Harmon for the first time to vote, and there was absolutely no lines, no problems.
In
And
out.
I'd heard how many people were saying, well, everybody's going there in town, I swear the whole group will be there. There was no wait.
No,
It
I had no
was,
issue.
it was
I would've
done very
known.
well.
And I
Yeah,
heard
no
the
issue. I
opposite.
knew,
but
yeah.
I wasn't there, but I heard people claiming that it's gotta change because there's not enough room and people aren't gonna stand out in the freezing cold and.
Walked right in, walked right out.
Yeah. I had no issue.
Midwest in November is, I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of,
Cold anyway.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm. So where was it, at Harmon Park?
In the shelter house?
In the shelter
Warming
house,
house.
okay.
Warming house.
Okay.
It was small, but there wasn't,
Yeah.
there were more workers than there were voters.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Okay, next thing under the current human rights issues, I did have a conversation with a resident of New Ulm at the fair, and she had asked if there was anything, so she has an autistic son who essentially runs. So she was wondering if there was any program, they live close to the river, so she has very serious concerns, and, you know, goes to school here, and so she has concerns about, you know, safety, if this person runs. Is there a way, is there something that program or something that we or the city or law enforcement can do to help track that person down or her son down if that were to happen? So she was talking, well, she had lived in another area where apparently they did have something like that, and then moved here, and so she was asking. And so I did inquire with Commander Borkert about whether or not law enforcement has anything like that in place or is looking at doing anything like that, and I did get an email response, and I'm just going to read it real quick. If I can find it, sorry. Okay, so it said, Dan, thank you for reaching out. It's almost a coincidence that you brought this up. I am very involved in launching an endeavor to obtain some technology that would enable officers, EMS, et cetera, to be able to obtain up-to-date information on smartphones. And then there's a thread below about some meetings that he had gone to very, very recently. And he goes on, it says, this technology would also permit us to hopefully find vulnerable adults. Please check out the link, and then there's a link to, it's called thevitalsapp.com. And so it's a piece of electronic technology that will help alert law enforcement for situations such as this. And then he went on and says, this is part of a bigger subject that I am passionate about. It's called RED, or RED, which is an acronym for Regional Evaluation for Diversion. It involves finding better options for individuals that law enforcement encounter who suffer from mental health or other disabilities. I'm excited to report that as a commissioner, I've been able to have the Human Services Director authorize to hire 2 social workers with mental health expertise to be embedded with law enforcement. We are working on job descriptions now, and if you'd like to be involved with this, I would appreciate your expertise. I would appreciate talking to you in more detail about this. It is a complex subject. So that I was obviously very encouraged. I think that these are some great things that that they're working on. I thought maybe about inviting Commander Borkert back to go into some more detail, and I just asked via email that he keep us posted, because they are going to do like a demonstration. I was looking at some of the email correspondence, and it says, here's a link for more information about the Vitals apps, as I will keep you posted as to when we have the live demonstration in Nicolet County. So Nicolet County is looking into this as well. So I just asked Commander Borkert to keep me updated, and when that happens, I will have Lisa send an email out so that whoever wants to go can certainly go and ask questions. I think this is it's definitely a step in the right direction, and I think it's could be a very, very useful tool.
I think our city is very fortunate to have such a proactive commander.
Definitely.
Agreed. So, but it was quite the coincidence, because I was looking at the dates on his email correspondence were literally about 2 days before I had emailed him about the conversation I had with our resident. So it's very timely, and so I do hope to get back to that individual and let them know, kind of what we're looking at doing, and keep them in the loop as well. So that's just something I wanted to put out there. Does anybody have any questions on it? Okay, then I think I'll invite Commander Borkert back. I'll kind of leave it up to him. If nothing really changes between now and the next one, there won't be much to add, but if something gets moving, I'll ask that if he wants to come and talk to us, because I think that's definitely something we would like to get involved in as much as possible. Okay, and so that was that. The Mankato Pride Festival, someone mentioned it and reminded me, when is that?
It's the 8th, I believe,
8th?
September, I think, off the top of my head.
Okay. September 8.
8 question mark, I think.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry, I should have had the date and time, but so I think it's September 8th. We'll have Lisa send out an email, unless somebody wants to look now. Chad, looks like you're on it. Okay, thanks. Okay. Events Committee Report, number 6A, Human Rights Award. Who would like to update us on that? I know Dee's not here.
I believe it's going to be on the 23rd, is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
October 23rd. Do we have a venue?
I don't know.
We're not sure about the venue, but it is definitely on October 23rd.
Okay, it's October 23rd.
It's typically, we've held it at the Lind House. I don't know if you've looked
We
into that.
need a bigger place,
Oh,
because
okay.
Alma has invited the League of Women Voters, and my mom, who's on the League of Women Voters, says that there are a lot of those people that would be coming, as well as a lot of other people from the community. So the Lind House may not be the best place to have it, as we have in prior years, so we need to probably look for a bigger venue for Alma.
Although we did have,
I said last year we had it at the cafetorium at the community center.
Okay.
It was a little bigger group, that's why I think
That's
we went
right, I
there.
forgot.
Yeah.
We may be able to get that, since we're now part of the charter, we may be able to get that for free.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So we can check into that, see what, if you wanted to check with, I think Cheryl Corman
Yes.
at Park and Rec would be the one.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Can someone from the events committee do that and see if that's available, and then set a time as well? What time do we want this?
suppose it's gonna have to depend on when it's available, too.
What
Yeah.
day of the week is the 23rd?
I think it's like a Tuesday.
So, and was it, I've never been to one in the past. Is it a come and go? Since we're going to have a speaker, do you want to say 6 to 7? How long is the speaker going to be?
Last year, we had,
Yeah, Tuesday.
it was kind of a welcoming for a while, open house kind of for a while, and then we had a distinct program which began at a specific time. I would imagine if we did something like open at 7, program begins at 7:20 or 7:30, whatever you wanted to do. We had an introduction, there was a speaker or two, and then we had a presentation from the group at the time. They put on a play, a portion of what they do normally. So I'd imagine in this case, we'd have Alma respond. I think the play was a little lengthier last year, it was about a half an hour. I think probably the combined, depending on who we get as a speaker, the combined, time will probably be a little less for all the speakers than the presentation.
The handing out of the awards took a lot longer because
Yes.
it's a big group.
It was right,
This
yeah,
is
absolutely.
True.
Right.
This definitely won't take as long.
So what do we have for an agenda for this ceremony? Do we have
I-
anything?
I think our best option right now would be for the events committee to touch base with each other and come with a full report in the September meeting.
I agree. And time is of the essence on this. I do have a speaker lined up, but I do need to get her important information, like the who, what, where, when, why.
I think
of
October
it.
23rd at 7
Yeah.
is probably a good
Yeah.
starting point.
So on that note, I've been communicating with Allison Griffith, who is a staff attorney who works in the refugee and immigrant program at the Advocates for Human Rights in Minneapolis. She came highly recommended by a couple of attorneys, immigration attorneys that I practiced with and communicated with over the years. So she did thank me and us for inviting her to speak. She did want some additional details about the length of time that we were thinking that she should speak. She also wanted to know more specifically about Alma so that she could tailor her comments to Alma. And I know Alma has some ideas about things that she wants definitely to be covered. And so I did email that information to Alma, so I'm going to get some information that I can relay back to Allison. But so that's where we're at with the speaker. I haven't discussed whether or not she's going to require a fee. I did say that we have a budget for it, so at least cover travel expenses and things of that nature.
I would say keep it at or under 15 minutes.
My original response was 10 to 20, and I said that that's a big span, but I think we'll know more once we get kind of, the agenda, and as she learns more about our commission and Alma, I think she can tailor towards that. But I think, 10 kind of on the low end, 20 on the high end, and if she comes in anywhere in there, it's probably pretty good. So that, another reason, so if we get kind of an idea of what we all want at this ceremony, then we can give her, we can narrow down the time about we would like her to speak. So, for example, if we start at 7 with kind of like a social area and get going at 7:20, do we want her to speak 7:45 or whatever the case might be? Has anyone reached out to Tim Babel about being available?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right, so
I can contact them if you want me to and put them in contact with you guys.
who's the events committee again?
Dee
Dee and me.
and myself and Chad.
Okay, I did also get a list from Lisa Pelz, a list of prior commissioners over the last 20 years. I thought maybe it would be kind of nice if we sent them a handwritten invitation. I thought that would be kind of I don't know, it was just an idea, but it would be kind of nice. And not all the information is going to be up to date, I get that, but if we were to write an invitation.
If we're going to invite them, then we also need to recognize them, making sure that's on the agenda.
Yep, good, thank you. So I will forward those emails to the events committee. And there's another expense. Envelopes and stamps and whatnot. So, okay, anything else on that?
Finding ways to spend your budget. Well, if you're looking for ways to spend the budget, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, after you meet, let me know right away the venue, if you could, please, so I can pass that information along. All right, so National Night Out 6B and C, National Night Out and Brown County Fair, we had a busy month. I thought both were wildly successful. Thank you for everybody who was involved in that, and does anybody have any takeaways or questions or things that we could do better or that we did awesomely?
I think people were looking for us this year a little bit more than, well, last year was our first year, but
Yeah, there was less surprise, I noticed. Like,
Yeah.
I remember last year.
people searched us out, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah,
I noticed that there were people, there was a group of girls that came up and said, "Are you the LGBTQ group?" Like, what were the Human Rights Commission? "Oh, we heard about you." So I guess I noticed that it depended on what type of background or what they were looking for support on is what they recognized the Human Rights Commission for. So at least, we aren't with one specific group, but they do know we're here.
Good.
And are happy.
Yeah, that's great. That's kind of been our goal, is just,
I have just been passed a note that Pride Fest is September 7th and 8th.
September 7th and 8th. I was
No,
gonna.
but it's
I was
not,
gonna-
7th is just it's not like the festival, it's just, they do like a karaoke and things like that, but the festival itself, the parade and the festival is on the
So it's
Saturday,
that
on the 8th.
weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you clarified, Wendy, because I was gonna,
Go both days?
I was gonna be very upset that you misled us when you said the 8th. Okay, so, all right, thank you for the update. Move on to 7, or does anybody have anything yet for the events committee?
I would like to see the Optimist Club keep the cheese curds going past 2 o'clock on Sunday of the fair. If anybody could pass that on.
It's important.
I think they ran out again this year.
Did they?
Last year, they ended up earlier.
They
Yeah,
ordered,
more, but-
they ordered another 100 pounds of cheese curds that I'm aware of, additional, and
Good.
still ran out.
Aw.
Their goal was not to run, I'm an optimist.
Yeah.
The goal is not to run out, and we did it again.
Being very
So we
optimistic.
can blame,
Very optimistic.
Very optimistic of
Well, we
that.
also want to sell them all, too.
Oh, yeah.
all right, have a motion to blame Sue for running out of cheese curds?
All in favor.
Well, if you want to buy them, Jackie will.
Send them over.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so Education Committee, we are at 7A, Student Commissioner. We still just have one application received. I do want to come up with something to get the word out to the students. School has started or is starting
Jeff?
very soon.
Next week, yeah.
Send something to Jeff,
Mhm.
superintendent.
Okay.
Maybe he can send it out to homeroom, or it just can be put into the announcements.
I was speaking to the sheriff's candidate's daughter that was right by us at the fair, and she's too young at this point. And I said, how would we go about addressing kids at your school? She said, you've got to go to the student council right away, early in the beginning of the year. She said, I would love to be part of it, but I think she's going to be a freshman or maybe a sophomore. And but she said, I'm part of that student council body, and that's where we need to go. So I would imagine, principal?
I think you have to go through the superintendent's office
Superintendent
first,
first?
because any kind of request like this needs to be approved before it goes to
Sure.
the student. So I would say starting with Jeff is a good plan.
Yeah, and then.
And
Jeff-
soon, so that
Yeah.
they would find that out as one of their first student council meetings. organizational type thing.
I can do that.
Okay.
Do you have,
Do you
does
mind
someone
doing
have the application in electronic form that I could attach with that?
I do, yep.
Can you send that to me and then I'll?
Yep, as well as the press release, so that if they want to just
That
print it
probably
or
needs
read
to go
it.
to all 3 schools, because
Yeah.
I'm sure
Right.
all
Well-
3 schools would have their own student body.
So I can do,
Yep.
I can do public and Cathedral. I have a contact there and then,
I know Tim over at MVL, so I can,
okay.
not you.
What about Riverbend?
I can do
Yep, I don't-
Riverbend too.
yeah.
If you want to.
I don't know.
I do know that one. If you can get it to me, I can do that one.
Okay.
Okay, great.
I would really like to see a commissioner from Riverbend. I think it could be a very positive.
Okay, then Riverbend encompasses 3 counties, so do we need to make sure that that student is from New Ulm?
In town.
In town, the city of New Ulm? That would be an issue. That'll also be an issue with MVL.
Correct.
But it does say it right on the application too. so-
Okay.
Yeah, I believe
Just so that
that's
we're
the one
aware of
that-
it, though, and don't encourage.
Right, yep. Okay, and do we want to do another, just a short couple of paragraphs in the paper for the homeschooled kids?
I think just address it to all students.
Yep, and I can send something to Kevin over at the Journal. I think we are, yeah, we already have like the wording improved from last time.
I think Lisa has a press release form
Yep.
too. You can just send it to her and she can ship it on.
Check the dates, if there are dates on
Yeah.
it, if anything. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, yep, I think I changed it in the electronic form, because I think originally it was June, and so that's been changed to, I think, the end of September is
Is that the
ideally-
date we still would like?
I think so, end of September to get applications,
Yeah, because it's early enough in the year.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, in fact, Lisa did the press release last time, so I'll just send her an email and we'll redo it with the new dates, obviously.
Can you attach that when you send me the application? as
Yeah.
well?
Yep. Okay, video contest. There were we at?
I think we knew the last time that we were at the end of our deadline, so I think our plans were we were going to regroup it for next spring
Yep.
to launch it.
I spoke with Mrs. Tambernino, and she said she would be happy to help incorporate that into her class. We just need to get her the information on what the video,
Content, yeah.
content. So whenever we have that, I can forward that on to her, and she said she'd be happy to put that in her curriculum if she can figure out a way to get it in there.
Okay, do we have it? Is that something where we could send her?
If we want to keep the same topics and
Oh,
deadlines, we could certainly do that.
And then maybe that's something too that, we don't just send to her, but also to all the schools, like we do the poster and essay contest, because we didn't
right.
do that with video.
Right.
And I'm thinking specifically Riverbend would be, do they have a program down there where they work with the visual arts? I mean, I am thinking that they
I'm
do.
thinking they do.
So maybe that would be something too, if we get them to them early enough and not wait to put it out until spring. I mean, have the due date in the spring, but consider getting it out as soon as we
Like
can.
now?
At least
Yeah.
get the staff
Yeah.
people on board
Right,
with
that's what I mean.
thinking about how they can incorporate it into the classroom.
Right.
And they maybe need permission for that too, I'm not sure.
so even if we don't have everything exactly like what the subject matter will be, at least get it on their radar.
I
Or
would
just
think
add
just
a
use the
subject
subject matter,
Yeah.
just go for it.
And just keep the same one we had last time, because we didn't have any submissions, so,
Yeah, might as well.
Can you send that to me again, please?
sure.
All right, thank you.
If you want to get that to me, then I can also run that to Riverbend
Okay.
when I'm going there with it.
If you want to send it to me, then we might as well do all
Maybe
the
we
other
should just
school,
send
if
it
we're
to
already
the whole group.
contacting, the other schools, we could do that.
Yeah, send it to the group and then,
I'll just send it to the group.
Yeah.
I'll have Jackie send it, or Lisa send it to
Yep.
the group.
and then, yeah. and
So the
then-
video and the poster.
Right, yep, and then each of us can email to our contact that we know in each school. Okay. 7C, poster and essay contest.
We brainstormed ideas last time, right?
I think I brainstormed
Yeah.
ideas last
Yeah.
time.
We all
We're-
applauded.
Well,
Yes.
education committee was to meet, we weren't able to do that, so
Oh,
maybe we
yeah.
just, do that. and
Okay.
Yeah.
work back.
Yeah, that could be item number 2, so do the city code piece that we talked about earlier, and then poster and essay. So that'll be,
So who wants to call that? Tim?
What, set it up?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do that.
okay.
okay, thank you, Tim.
Mhm.
So the education.
Can't we just have it all due at the same time?
I think that would
Video,
make it
poster, and
easier,
essay?
just send
at
them all
least-
out together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wendy, do you have the materials for the poster and essay contest still?
I do,
Okay, because I don't have copies of that. I never,
pretty sure I do.
I wasn't help generating at that time. Okay.
Does that theme change via the state, or is that something we just choose on, or,
Just choose.
okay.
It
Well,
used to be
yeah.
driven by the state League of Human Rights, but we
Okay.
aren't really affiliated with them anymore, so we can do whatever we'd like. It gives us
Okay.
freedom for that. We just don't advance the people that win with us on.
Because that's so many positive comments at the fair,
Yeah.
on the posters being up, the students that walk by, oh, I really like that one, or
Mhm.
this one really hits me.
Okay, so. all right,
So then we don't have to then, would it make sense to use the same topic then that the video is using for the poster and essay? So we really don't have to decide on a topic. I think that would get confusing if we had two.
I do it all the same.
So just have the same topic and you
We
can.
could decide when we decide on the topic, we'll just decide.
And one
Okay.
entry, like, one person can't do all three.
Right.
Why not, though?
Because I just don't think it's fair for one, because I think there was one year where the same girl was gonna win the poster and essay.
But they're two different contests.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't
They're
see
all
why
under
not.
the same, I just think if we're gonna have that many people in there, just pick one.
I guess I was just thinking, since we didn't have entries for the video, to
Yeah.
not discourage anyone if they're gonna do
Well,
one or the
that, I
other. The
guess-
video's gonna take a lot more work than
True.
a poster or whatnot.
Yeah, they're completely different art forms.
No, I agree. That's actually a
If we
good
did,
point.
what if we did different topics? I understand what you're saying, is it's like, okay, one person gets one kind of
Still could be
idea.
It still could be one person.
Yeah, right.
I think it's gonna be relatively rare that we'd run into that,
That's true.
but I would hate to discourage anyone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we'll meet as a subcommittee,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay, and then, Chad, you handed out I'm gonna back up a little bit to Human Rights Board. Sorry, I kind of I just flew right over the top of that. So Chad did, he worked on and wrote up what we would like to have inscribed on the award for Alma. Everybody get a copy of that? I'll just read it out loud here. So the New Ulm Human Rights Commission 2018 Human Rights Award presented to Alma Marin in recognition of her contribution towards the advancement of human rights, service to this community, and striving to ameliorate the lives of protected classes, fulfilling human rights principles, and to apportion justice and equality for all. Anybody, very good, Chad, thank you. Anybody have any comments or
I think it's great, and I move to use it.
I second.
I'm just wondering about her name. Do we use,
I was wondering.
yeah, her full name, or how, how does she, I don't know.
Identify yourself?
Yeah.
That might be something to ask her,
All right.
I know
because
she-
we, not that it needs to be on for the plaque reason, but also as we introduce her, as we hand her the award, how does she prefer to be?
Addressed,
I think that's her choice. It's her name.
right.
I think she should have the
And
ownership.
Dan actually was the one that brought it up to me, so.
Yeah,
I saw that, I kind of questioned it too.
yeah, I just, a lot of times with awards, full names are used in something as formal as an award, but I think either way, getting her input is probably the way to go. Jen, do you mind? Do you have her
Put all
email?
the
I
way
can
out.
email her as well. I'll do it.
You can do it.
Okay. I'll email. I'm already communicating with her about the speaker, so. And I think she's not a commissioner anymore, so if, when the events committee does meet, certainly invite her. And, yeah, get her input and what she would like. Okay, anything else? Where did we end up here? Poster and essay contest. Sorry, I'm jumping around everywhere here. Okay, we're back to the 8 now. Legislative update. There is really not much to update. The legislative session really started last month, so that was the big thing. So I have nothing new on that front, at least. And city council liaison, Chad, he said not much going on there.
That is correct.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm spacing out
No,
here.
that's fine. Okay, so nothing to report there. Okay, I think we got it. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to cover or talk about or discuss?
I just have the one question about the plaque. Do we just use Nicholson's then for the plaque?
I think so. Yeah, we talked about, I think after we priced it out, we figured it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we like the idea of
Staying
staying local and sort of doing it online and, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, is there anything that needs formal approval? I don't really think so. Okay, so the date of the next meeting is going to be September the 24th of 2018. Okay, and I guess a motion to adjourn is the only thing left.
I move.
Second.
All in favor to adjourn, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, meeting is adjourned, motion carried. Thank you, everybody.